Receiving an autoimmune disease diagnosis is frightening, overwhelming, and life-changing. Latanya Bias, PhD, experienced these emotions when she was first diagnosed with lupus over 20 years ago. Although lupus chose her, she has learned to adapt to lupus while living her life to the fullest. Hosted by Latanya Bias, founder of the Love Life Lupus Foundation, the Lupus It Chose Me podcast offers inspiration, information, motivation, and encouragement for lupus sufferers to take back their life. Mrs. Bias will share lessons she has learned over the many years she has lived with lupus. A variety of professionals will join Latanya to discuss what the disease is, what causes it, who it affects, the symptoms, life stories, and most importantly, ways for you to love your life with lupus. Join Latanya as she guides you on your journey through life with autoimmune disease.
Hello and welcome. I am your host, Dr. Bias, and today's topic is about stress. I don't want to stress anybody out, but for today, for those who are just joining, please take a moment of your time and look at our previous episodes. Some of those media sites, you can view them on are Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and even Instagram. The name of the podcast is still the same. It's Lupus It Chose Me. This podcast will give you the fundamentals of lupus and a wealth of fun and encouraging information. However, to recap, lupus is an autoimmune disease in which the immune system mistakenly attacks various parts of our body, including our skin, our joints, and various other organs. But wait, did you know that over 16,000 new cases of lupus develop each year, and 5 million people worldwide suffers from this disease? This occurs when the immune system creates antibodies that attack and destroy healthy tissues, causing pain, damaging to your joints or even organs, and inflammation, our biggest issue. Now, women of color are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop the disease than any other gender or race. Let me start with defining one common symptom related to lupus. It's stress. But stress means different things to different people based on their backgrounds and their current emotions or even physical conditions. For example, some people, if you are in a car and you see a car riding too close or cutting in front of you, this is a major emotional reaction. That's stress. For others, dropping a frozen chicken on your toe might be viewed as just another life experience. Yet even this kind of experience can also be stressful. On this topic, I will define stress as a human reaction that disturbs our normal psychological meaning, the fundamentals of your body parts, including equilibrium, our balance. Okay, so stress is this general sense referred to as any adverse conditions or states that affects our normal well-being. Such stress can be imposed on us, for example, work, our children, reading a text, or by setting your daily schedule can be too rigorous. Treating the physical symptoms of lupus is not enough to control the disease. As you know, there is no cure. Stress reduction plays an important role in helping you live a better life. Now, I had to find a study for proof. The topic of the study was called Bless, and it was at the Medical University of South Carolina. BLESS is defined as experience with stress strategies, produced accepting results on how stress reduction can help people with lupus. Now, the study follows a group of African American women with lupus, LSLE, as they learn to better manage their stress. All SLE patients met at least 4 components of this 1997 Act. And it was revised, of course, but you had to be 18 years of age or older. And for over 6 weeks, the women attended classes to learn and some practices. And some of these practices that they had to learn were ways to deal with problems like fatigue, pain, frustration, and even isolation. Using exercises to build their strength, flexibility, and endurance. Best times to use their medications was also part of those tips, and also tips of communicating with their family, with their friends, and healthcare teams. Now, after 6 weeks, the report of these women who went to class were much lower than those who only received a pamphlet from their program. So self-reported rates of depression, limits on social activity, distress about their health, fatigue, and pain were all lower. For months after the class, these women continued to report their lower rates of stress and higher rates of their well-being. Unlike the study, let me provide you with some specific topics for reducing everyday stress when having lupus, like myself. You can help yourself stay as healthy as possible by learning to practice self-care. I love self-care. Love it, love it. Like stress reduction techniques. No one method now works for everyone. But here are some of the ways to manage your life with lupus. Learn to say no so that you do not overspend your energy. Energy is very important, so please say no. Prioritize what is most important and do those things first. I had a very special person in my life that tells me that daily. Ask for help at home and accommodations at work. Prepare ahead of time for major activities. Replace negative self-talk with positive, supportive, encouraging thoughts. And schedule enough time for sleep. We all know how important sleep is, so please get 6 to 8 hours. Light exercise regularly or walk a day. Keep the doctor away. Join a lupus support group. You can go to lovelifelupusfoundation.org for more information. And if you are isolated, volunteer. Let's take a commercial break, and I'll be right back.
Living with lupus doesn't define who I am.
Living with lupus doesn't stop who you can be.
Living with lupus doesn't keep me from following my dreams.
I choose to.
I choose
To love life.
Lupus is a systemic autoimmune disease that occurs when your body's immune system attacks your tissues and organs. It is estimated that at least 1.5 million Americans have lupus. Diagnosing lupus can be challenging. And according to blackdoctor.org, lupus is one of the top diseases misdiagnosed in African Americans.
Help us find a cure for this mystical disease.
It doesn't affect just one of us.
It affects us all.
To learn more about this horrible disease, please go to lovelifeLupusFoundation.org and help us find a cure by making a donation.
Welcome back. No one can get rid of all the stress in your life. You can, however, use the tools provided to reduce and handle life ups and downs. Many people with lupus report they get flare-ups during stressful times. It does not matter if this stress is caused by a major event like divorces or minor events, everyday hassles. By teaching yourself to stay calm and avoid stress, people or things that are brought into your life, you can actually help yourself reduce stress, reduce pain, and other symptoms you may face. Now, your symptoms and pain will not go away, but you will be at peace if you just learn to love your life in the moment. Another option is to see a physical therapist or go get a massage, seek a doctor for pain management. But just remember, do not quit. Just shift to a new way of bettering your life. Let's continue to fight and beat the odds. And remember, love is life, and life is not lupus. Until next time, as my mom would always say, TTYL. Talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Lupus It Chose Me podcast with Latanya Bias. Latanya is a native of Chicago, author, and philanthropist. She has a PhD in business and is the founder and CEO of the Love Life Lupus Foundation. Although she battles lupus every day, Latanya is committed to creating awareness, sharing knowledge, and funding a cure for this disease. Married for more than 20 years, she has 3 children and 3 grandchildren who light up her life. Until next time, Latanya wants you to remember you can learn to love your life with lupus. You can learn more about Latanya and her work by visiting the foundation website at lovelifeLupusFoundation.org. Her book, Lupus It Chose Me, is available at Amazon.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe, share, and listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to stream.